Hi, I'm Lucy, and I'm an artist from New Zealand. And right now, you're watching one of my workshops or tutorials where I'm sharing all of my real life insights into growing my own art business. I've been doing this for the last 8 years, and I found it really challenging at times with the lack of information or openness of other artists to share how to actually create an authentic business that feels like me. And this is what I'm trying to do now is pass the knowledge and learnings that I have found along the way onto you to help you with growing your own art business because I truly believe it's possible to do what you love for a living. And the world needs your art more than ever. So I hope you enjoy this. If you love it, drop me a comment and tell me what you think. It's always great for me to hear what you think and what you found useful. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more. I release one of these generally every week. Hey, gonna do a little training on greeting cards, Christmas greeting cards. Now, this is obviously I've been talking a lot about Christmas the last few weeks. So if you missed last week's workshop, I did a live workshop last week that ended up being about an hour and a half because there were loads of questions from those of you who joined, and we were talking about creating an offer for Christmas. And so I highly recommend you watch it in tandem with this. But I just wanted to give you another real life, very simple idea that you could put out there to your friends, your family, your fans this Christmas. And like I say, this is simple, and I'm just going to take you through the process I went through when it came to creating my first greeting cards this is probably about 3 or 4 years ago now. So I've got one of them up here. And these were quite, I really just had fun with this. So these were very fun, more cartoony. Like this was unusual for me to do something like this. My art is kind of probably more like defined and detailed normally, but I was like, right, for Christmas I'm going to do these little cards. I'm going to give it another. It's another test. It's another try something moment, which I love to do, and I'm going to create 4 fun little designs and sell them as packs. I think I sold them as packs of 8. So I had 4 designs. I'm going to show you these as we talk about this. Where are the others? So these are the 4 designs here that I had. So there were 4 of each, 2 of each type in a pack of 8. So what I wanted to do, like I said, I showed you these designs that I made. Here's another one here of just them under the Christmas tree, which is part of my marketing. Some of the imagery I created for my marketing. Um, and I just want to take you through the process of how I made these. And I'm going to show you the suppliers I use, but I think more importantly, I'm just going to show you the simplicity of like finding suppliers and finding and thinking about the components, right? So for a card, we need to have a design, so do the work, and then we have to create a little digital file, which is what these were here. I created a 2-sided file which had the back, which just had my logo and my website, and then the front was the design. And so that was just done in Canva, very simple. And I'll actually attach my Canva template to this. I'll create a template link, and you can grab that. And then what I did is I just searched. I was an online card printing based in New Zealand. I wanted somebody based in New Zealand. I didn't want to go. So if, for example, I've gone one step ahead there, but if I go greeting card printing custom, sorry, we'll go custom greeting card printing. Right. So you'll start to get things like the print company Vistaprint, and these are Snapfish. These are kind of like online companies that some of these are local. Harvey Norman is local. But these start to be some global companies, which I wanted to avoid because I wanted to be able to get fast turnaround, receive them quickly, and then contact a local person if I wanted to ask questions. So in Auckland. So all you do is just add your city. I live in Auckland, New Zealand, so I'm going to say in Auckland. And so those global ones will appear again. But what will start to happen is you'll start to see who's actually based here in New Zealand. So you can start to make some, more specific decisions around who you're going to use. Now, to jump ahead, I ended up making a few calls and I found this company called the Online Printer. So they are, although they're online, they are New Zealand based. So how did I know that? Well, the website's a bit of a giveaway because it's .co.nz, but then I also just had a look at about them. So just delve a little bit into who these people are, and you'll get a feel as to where they're based. Because what can happen if you choose someone, if you're in America watching this, you have a lot of options because you're a very big country, as an example. Same probably with the UK, Canada. In New Zealand, we're a lot smaller, so we have a lot. We still have a lot of options, but it's better to try and find, I think, somebody local that can make sure they get them delivered to you quickly. So I chose the Online Printer, and they actually print a lot of things. When it came to it, so they do coasters, they do all sorts of things. So you can have a little hunt around these kinds of places that do really a wide variety, but staying on point, I wanted greeting cards. And the nice thing about these guys is that they had different sizes that I could choose from. And it was really easy for me to see if, for example, if I wanted 100 cards printed, and then you can choose the artwork variation. So in my case, I had 4 different types, okay, and that will change the price, right? So if you just have one type, they only have one print process to set up, and it's cheaper. This year, I'm actually going to do some greeting cards again. This is why I'm talking about this specifically. I thought it was a good one to share with you. I'm going to have 2 this year, and I'll probably do a pre-order with my mailing list. So I'll take orders beforehand, and I'll work out how many packs I'll sell. And I'll probably do packs of 8 again. And so based on that, if I say I'm going to sell, I don't know, 40 packs of 8, you can start to work out. So that's going to be, say, 320 cards. You can start to figure out. So 320 cards that you can start to just work out the price per card. So this starts to give you an idea of what your cost is going to be. And these are important things to write down as you go to work out what you're actually going to charge people. And I'll talk a little bit about my thought process on pricing as well while we're doing this. So 334 divided by 320. So I'm getting them for just over $1 each, which is pretty good. Now, what I did when I first started is they have all these different coatings. And I did Christmas cards, but I also started to do some greeting cards. This is all bent out of shape, sorry. It's one of the only ones I've got left as a show you what I've done before. So I created some cards, and I wanted to make sure the coating was what I wanted. So I actually got a number of tests done with different coatings. So I just got one. And I do recommend this if you can, and this is why a local printer is great because you can get it checked. But I just got one of, I think I chose 3 different coatings, got them all sent to me, and then I was like, right, I like that one. But if all else fails, just choose. You can give them a call. I gave them a call, I think, at some point, and they gave me a bit of an idea of what they look like. They actually do cool things like recycled paper as well, which is nice. It's a lot more expensive, as you can see, but you can put that into your price if you want to sell it as recycled paper cards. People really do like that. So anyway, this is just an example of what you can find quite easily online and local to you. So once you've done that, the reason I like working with these guys is because they were very good with getting communication, with getting it out to me quickly, and I really like their options, and I liked the fact that their website was so easy to navigate and figure out what I could get for what price. Now, the second component of a greeting card is obviously the envelope, and these guys do sell envelopes, so you can just jump in to what you want there. But a key thing is to remember, it sounds simple, but can catch you out. It's always just before you order and decide on a size, make sure you know what envelope is required, okay? So it sounds silly, but I had a bit of a challenge because I'd ordered all these cards and I actually wanted to get a nice brown craft envelope, which they only just do a basic. Actually, they do a few more here now. They've increased their range. We've got different colors, which is nice. Some nice colors. I like it. So you can actually choose colors here now. A lot of different places will do something like this. And then they have, yeah, so 80 cents each, which isn't bad. So what you can just do is come back to greeting card to Google envelopes Auckland and just search. And where I always ended up going to is you'll see here that just again locally, so I really want to just focus on the local element because I don't want to spend lots in shipping and wait a month to get them from somewhere else. Might not be a month, but you know what I mean. But you'll see here that there's a few different local places. Even Warehouse Stationery, which is a really basic stationery store here, do a really good standard size envelopes in different like metallic colors and stuff. So that's a really easy option too. But I have often gone to Envelope World. I don't know why, I just like their range, and they have loads of different envelopes. So I get some really nice envelopes from here for my certificate of authenticities. So I've had like really beautiful heavyweight gold and navy envelopes for my paintings. When people purchase something, it just makes it feel really special. And then, like I say, for your greeting cards, you can then go through here, find the size. So I just recommend like Envelope World. Sorry, the online printer now, like I say, um offers different sizes now that will likely fit their card size, which is great. Just double check on the card size. And I think they said that there was this size guide. Anyway, you might just have to Google that's what a C6, C7, all those kinds of envelopes the size is, and then check that the card dimensions fit within that. But otherwise, if they don't have what you want with your particular supplier that you're getting your cards from, just go somewhere like this. Either a local stationery store, like I say, will do often a very standard card size. But just make sure before you order 100 cards that you've decided you know what envelope you need for that size and that you're ready to go. Just a I had an issue with this at the very beginning. So again, this is what I like to do, share the things that I've found challenging or I've had roadblocks with. So yeah, and then choose your cards, like the envelopes. I mean, these guys do all sorts of very special envelopes, so you can make some really special things here. And then what you're going to do is really just make sure you understand, based on all of this, before you go printing and selling, that you know what you need to be offering so far as price. So if you realize that you have a card price of, I don't know, say $1.20, and then you have an 80-cent envelope, your cost is $2 per card. Now, that doesn't mean we go, oh, well, in that case, I shouldn't charge more than $4 or $5 because that's me taking too much profit. As artists, we're very good at trying to make sure we're not ripping anybody off and make sure we're always perhaps, making sure it's the best price possible. But remember, you're here to make a business. And if I were to go into a card shop today, to get a nice greeting card, I'm going to spend at least $8. So think about what are people spending. And when it comes to Christmas card packs, yeah, okay. Some people might go to the local stationery store and spend $10 on a card pack, and they're very flimsy, mass-produced cards. That doesn't mean you have to charge yours for $10 and make no money. For me, I believe last time I charged about $40 a pack of 8, and I think that's the absolute minimum that you should charge in that situation. So work out your numbers. I've always said that you want to be making at least 50% profit in gifts like this, no matter how you're selling it or what the costs are or how many you're selling. Minimum of 50%, but there's nothing wrong if you're making 100% profit. Okay, so what I'm saying there is if you're charging $4 a card, your cost should be $2 or less. Okay, so half of that number should be your profit, minimum. But there's no reason why you shouldn't be charging $6 to $8, $9 per card, and don't feel bad about that. Because remember also, if you sell them per unit, just one at a time, you've got the time involved with shipping these things off. So, or getting them ready or putting them together or whatever it is. So there's costs that we don't think about when time as well. So just keep that in mind. But this is just, I just wanted to take you through this process because like I say, cards are a really neat idea, a really neat, let's bring these up again, a really neat thing to offer. These were just, like I say, again, this is just in a bit of a fun style I did with I was drawing with my daughter one morning and I was like, oh, this could be fun. And it wasn't in the, really kind of, I guess, fine art style of my normal work, but people really liked them. It was a bit different. It still was in relation to what I do with birds, and people bought them. And again, when you have a really uh, engaged following, they often will buy most things that you put out there. So here's an idea for you. If you're feeling like, oh, it's all just too much, the idea of it, it's a low cost offer. So you're not asking $1,000 for a painting. And so this can be a really nice easing into just putting your art out there and seeing how it's received, because you're not going to be offering, asking the world so far as cost. And it's a nice little project, especially if you're thinking about offering something other than just originals. It gives you a bit of experience of putting together a little product. Now, the other thing, and for me, like I say, I'm going to be doing two designs that I've created, and I'm just about to kind of get those together to start to put together my file for printing. So I'm going to be making those this week. I'm making these in mind. Now I've done a few things before. I'm making them in mind to pitch for licensing next year. So these are the kinds of things that you can start to think of with regards to business building, right? How can I get the most out of my efforts? And so I'm going to be creating a card pack of two designs with a tui and a piwaka waka, which are two native birds here in New Zealand. And I'm going to be doing them in a little bit more of a fine art style. And I'm going to pitch these as to a couple of card companies next year for potential licensing. Now, hey, will they say yes? Who knows? But what I'm trying to say here is thinking about the potential of your efforts and where that actually could go further. Okay, I might sell 40 packs of cards and make some money on that this year, but what if I think about this in a bigger sense? What if I think about how this could potentially be two designs that I use ongoing and get paid for those designs to be used or licensed by another company? So just another angle on these things, right? You start to get confidence as you try things to go, well, people really like those in my inner circle, so why on earth would they not like those wider? And so that's just another little thing to seed in your mind. I always like to talk about diversifying and thinking about ways that you can really make the most of your talents. And again, I don't think we should ever be shying away from the potential commercial opportunities that are available now. So many available to artists. So that's another thought for you there. Anyway, I know this was a little bit of a you know, this wasn't necessarily like a formal, here's your guide training, but I really wanted to just show you a bit more of a, here's the thought process, and here's the things that you just probably want to think about as you go through the idea of creating a greeting card offer this Christmas. And remember, people really like to be buying cards soon, so you really want to be trying to get that out in October at the end of this month if you can, because people will be sending them away overseas as well. All right, I hope you have had a really good week and you found this useful. As always, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think and how this has benefited you and maybe opened your eyes or made you think about trying something new, which is what I think a creative business is all about: trying things, having fun with it, and seeing what works. All right, I'll see you soon.